Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from downtown Baton Rouge, this is Hunt Palmer.
Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show right here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got some Take It or Leave It coming in 30 minutes. Got my final pick for Saints and Seahawks, as well as Tigers and Lions. Break down Saints and Seahawks a little bit later as well. 1 hour left to go. Appreciate you hanging out with us. If you were listening in the first hour, you heard my confidence. You understand that I'm seeing this board for Southeastern Conference football better than maybe I've ever seen it. This could be the greatest week of handicapping anyone's ever seen. Y'all listen to Live at Lunch from Rufino's. You get a lot of expert handicapping opinions. You certainly listen to Pro Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott. Jimmy Ott's Football Sunday, 10 to noon on Sundays. You get a lot of handicap opinions there. These are the best picks. Clearly, that has been spelled out. Beck, what's my record on the season?
Your record on the season is 12-20.
Exactly. That's why you come to this station, to this show, to get these picks. And they're coming hot. They're coming fast. They're coming furious. Southeastern Conference football. Let's crank it up. It's week 4. I'm hot. Got great picks coming, and it starts in Memphis. The Razorbacks, Coach Pittman, going to the Liberty Bowl. Memphis catching 7.5 points in the first hour. We told you Coach Cutcliffe and Ole Miss couldn't cut it there. Coach Fulmer got beat there with the Vols. Hugh Freeze was taken down by Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. So was Matt Luke. I mean, Mike Leach couldn't win in the Liberty Bowl. It's a tough place to win. Memphis playing good defense thus far. They played Chattanooga. They're in the FCS. They played Georgia State. They're 108th in the country in offense. They played Troy. They're 107th in the country in offense. Memphis' defense, you think it's good? It actually stinks. It's terrible. Taylon Green leads the country in total offense. Hogs minus 7.5. Sorry, Memphis. It's going to get ugly. The Hogs are going to score a lot of points in that game. All right, let's go to 11:45 SEC Network. Same state, different venue. Rocky Top, Tennessee. 38.5-point favorites against Trent Dilfer and UAB. This is a huge letdown spot for Tennessee. Monster game with Georgia last week. Now UAB's coming in. There's no way their energy level is good. But UAB is 131st out of 136 in total defense. They gave up 514 yards to Alabama State. The Vols are going to score 60. 38.5 is nothing. Give me the Vols. Lay the 38.5. 2:30 ABC Top 25 Showdown. Jackson Arnold Bowl. Auburn, ranked 22nd in the country, headed to Norman to play the 11th-ranked Sooners. The line, 7.5 in favor of the Sooners. I think Oklahoma is way better than Auburn. I think Jackson Arnold is not very good and probably won't play very well against a really good defense. I love Oklahoma minus 7.5, but I love it too much, which means Auburn must cover because I think that it's a slam dunk. So I got to go Auburn plus 7.5 on that one. I like it too much. And I've had that 3 times, I think, this year, and it's gone the wrong way every time. I got to go with Auburn to keep it within a touchdown. 3:15 SEC Network. Northern Illinois is at Mississippi State. Things are good in Starkville right now. They're beating some awful teams. They had a nice win over Arizona State. Northern Illinois scored 19 points this year against Holy Cross. They scored 9 on Maryland, and that came on a 75-yard touchdown run. I don't think they're going to sustain that offense too much. This is easy. 21.5. Give me Mississippi State. Lay those points all day long. 6 o'clock, ESPN. South Carolina is at Missouri. Missouri's a 9.5-point favorite. South Carolina was awful last week after Lenora Sellers left, and they weren't really that good when he was on the field. He is going to play, it appears, in this game. 9.5 is just too many points. South Carolina plays hard for Shane Beamer. They will play hard in this game against Missouri. They will keep it within 9.5. Give me the Gamecocks in the Battle of Columbia. 6:30 ABC. Florida is at Miami. This is a 7.5-point number in favor of Carson Beck and the Hurricanes. Everybody thinks Miami's awesome. Everybody thinks Florida stinks. Well, guess what? Florida might stink. Their defense does not stink. Their defense will play hard. And they will cover this number, 7.5. They will go to South Beach. They will stay within a touchdown of the Miami Hurricanes. This is a one-score game. Give me that defense, which is really good against Miami. They'll get it done. They'll cover the number. 6:30 ESPNU, Georgia State at Vanderbilt. Revenge spot for the Doors against Georgia State. You heard that correct.
It is.
It's not at the TED this year. Not at Turner Field in Atlanta. Georgia State's got to get on a plane and go up to Nashville. 28.5 is the number here. Georgia State 101st, as I mentioned earlier, in total offense. 28.5 is a lot of points. Give me the Panthers.
Oh,
plus
no,
28
such
and a half.
Terrible pick.
28.5. Give me the Panthers against Vanderbilt. That offense hasn't been very good, Vanderbilt. And then you got Sam Houston at Texas, 39.5. This is a 7 o'clock game on the SEC Network streaming. I think Texas wins 50-0. 39.5. I'll lay the points. Arch bad. Texas
They didn't
not
cover
as good
last
as we
week,
thought.
huh?
Sam Houston, come on.
The Bearcats are actually not good this year. They're usually pretty good, but this year
They usually are pretty good
good
at pitching and playing defense.
No, they have
in
actually
the
been.
spring.
They won the FCS championship like 2 or 3 years ago.
My point
Different
is
team
that.
now.
FCS. Give me Texas minus 39.5. I think it's
You got to
60 to
take
nothing.
Texas. Sam Houston spells Bearcats with a K.
Okay, they do.
Which is just pick against them for that reason only.
Shout out to my guy Joe Healy, who we have on during baseball season, Sam Houston grad. Those are my picks against the number. The Arkansas Razorbacks minus 7.5. Auburn plus 7.5. I like Mississippi State to cover easily minus 21.5. South Carolina catching 9.5 at Missouri. Give me Florida plus 7.5 at Miami. I like the Georgia State Panthers plus 28.5 against Vanderbilt, and Texas laying 39.5 in Austin against Sam Houston's Bearcats with a K. Those picks are amazing.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, you got to give me more than that.
Well, here's the thing, Hunt. This is not a lot of games, so this is going to be tough for you because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
1, 2,
7,
3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only eight. Only 8. I mean, that's not
If I don't at least go 7-1, I will shave my head on the set.
7-1.
I'm kidding.
You got to be kidding,
That's
Hunt.
not going to happen.
You're not going 7-1.
We're not doing that.
You're not going 7-1.
I'm going 7. I think I'm 8-0.
Wait, okay, so I missed it. Who'd you pick? Mizzou, South Carolina? What was your?
I think South Carolina will play very hard. I think Lenora Sellers will play, and I think they'll cover 9.5 against Missouri.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Are
That's
any of
what I
these
got.
picks included in the pontoon parlay?
No, I don't think we had any SEC games.
Did y'all go 0 for last week or?
We went 1-3. Not going to say who was the winning leg. That would be me, though.
Wow,
But
I wouldn't
we're
want you to say.
Individually, we're 3-1 this year.
Okay.
So, Auburn, Oklahoma, you were intrigued by that pick. I could stand with that one.
I was very
There's
intrigued.
no way Auburn stays within 7.5.
Probably not, but they probably will. Just for some reason, they probably will.
I mean, is Jackson Arnold decent? That's really the question.
It is.
Because he's played on that field before, and he's been awful. I mean, go back and look at his stat line against Bama, where it was like, well, he led the lead against Bama. Bama didn't score in that game. I think he had 3 points, and I think he threw for like 90 yards.
It was not good.
He was, I mean,
That's what he's doing now, but they're also running for.
they run for a lot,
250 a
and I don't
game.
think they're going to do that against Brent Venables' defense. So
No.
every fiber of my being suggests that that's an Oklahoma cover, which is why I've taken.
I like that reasoning. You got to do that sometimes.
I think Memphis is such a fraud. Their statistics are so ridiculous.
Taylor Green's gonna have 500 yards in this game.
I mean, for sure.
He's gonna score 5 touchdowns.
And then I was impressed with Florida's defense last week.
That is a very stinky line though to me for Memphis and Arkansas. I mean, you got to go. Yeah, they're going to Memphis, but who cares about that? You're playing in the
Hunt was
Liberty
all
Bowl.
fired
I mean,
up about it 20 minutes ago.
Yes, but it was
So-
obviously very much a joke.
Well, he found out they weren't wearing the Tiger Stripe
I didn't
helmet,
check. I have sources on that. I probably could figure out.
You
but
probably could.
You know who's probably said it? Memphis. Go to Memphis football's official Twitter account.
yeah.
I'm sure everyone puts their jersey.
Their
out. That's why I
jersey,
know that
yeah.
LSU is wearing white jerseys. The issue is they don't know that LSU's wearing gold helmets and gold pants. That's
I know what they're
Yeah.
wearing.
Do you? How do you know?
Unofficially, I know.
Well, tell me now.
I'll tell you during break. I don't want to be wrong. So we
You don't
can
want to
talk
be
about it
wrong.
then.
That's the
Well,
point of the
that's-
whole show.
yeah.
I'm wrong. This whole
Hey,
segment is about being wrong.
I heard it was gold, white.
Let your high.
Gold helmet, white. That's what I
so
heard. Again,
awful.
that's unofficial.
I'll be sad.
But I was at the press conference yesterday, and there was some chatter.
Okay.
Some chatter, Hunt.
That's devastating. But I have prepped the Myers, man. It's crazy to me that so many people listen to the show and hear the things that I say.
A lot of people.
It's wild to me. I talked about Louisiana Tech wearing red uniforms in the game 2 weeks ago. It was Myers' first game to go to, and it was very good for him because a lot of the YouTube games he's watched, for whatever reason, LSU plays against a team wearing red. He's seen a lot of USC from last year, a lot of Ole Miss from last year. There's just a lot of red teams that he's seen. Oklahoma, even though LSU was in purple, they had red helmets on to him. So a lot of red team that he's seen, and it was good that they were the red team. I've had to prep him because his grandfather is taking him to this game as well, and I said, no red team this week. There is going to be a white team. That'll be the Tigers, but there's going to be a green team. So he has been...
That's going to be trouble.
He's all over it. He was talking about it this morning.
All right.
As he was not eating his waffle. He was talking about... He told his mom, not going to be a red team this week. It's going to be a green team. So we're prepped for that.
How do you not eat a waffle if you're a kid, though?
This kid, his eating is atrocious. It's just terrible. We cannot get him to eat. It's not... He won't eat anything. He loves waffles. He's like, can I have a waffle? Make the waffle. Won't eat it.
Interesting.
But at the game 2 weeks ago, he'd never eaten a hot dog in his life. Ate two. I think he was just all swept up in the moment.
Just give him hot dogs.
Well, he won't eat a hot dog at home because he's not in a stadium with 5,000. That's a really bad.
Interesting.
Thing
Yeah,
that just came
the
out.
number you went to
more like
there.
100,000. So that's enough for this segment of just babbling on. Let's talk about the Saints. We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Weekend is here. If you don't have a tee time somewhere and you're looking for an alternative, I got it for you. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You can go on in. They've got 3 bays with the big, comfortable couches, great seating area, television, so you can watch college football on Saturday, watch the NFL on Sunday, and hit some golf balls. You can play some of the most famous courses in the world. I teed it up at Pebble Beach. There's a quite famous golf club over there in the state of Georgia you can play that hosts a tournament every April that's quite well thought of. You can play Bethpage Black. You can play Cypress Point, which I did last week. It's just a lot of fun to get on the simulator and hit some of those cool shots that you've seen on television year after year after year. Get a cold beer. They got a fridge full of them. You can get a seltzer. They got a whole fridge full of them. You can get a glass of wine. They got a whole fridge full of that as well. And there are memberships available. So go hang out with your friends, play some golf indoors in a controlled environment, enjoy the comfortable seating areas, the television, and a great time over at Swing Easy Golf Club. Open this afternoon, open all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Check them out online at Swing Easy GCBR. They're at Segan and Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hope your work week has been a good one. Hopefully it's in the rearview mirror. If not, we will get you to the finish line here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Matt will be out at Don Juan Cigar Bar for AFR 3 to 6 this afternoon. So if you're knocking off work and looking for somewhere to head to blow off a little steam, Don Juan could be a good spot for you. Matt will be there until 6 o'clock. Entering the season opener for the Saints, I thought, okay, this is a nice measuring stick for New Orleans because I don't find the Cardinals to be a great team. I don't find the Cardinals to be a disaster. I find them to be somewhere right in the middle of the NFL. And it'll be a good measuring stick on your home field of like where you stack up with that team. And you got beat. And I would suggest the Cardinals deserve to win that game, but you played them right there to the last play and had a chance to win it. And I thought that was a reasonable result. And then I sat here 7 days later and I said, look, this version of San Francisco is not all that intimidating. And I think the Saints should be able to stick with this team without Brock Purdy and without George Kittle. It's a tough matchup, and I picked the Saints to win, but I thought it would be a really close game late, and it was a really close game late. Saints had the ball, the chance to go down there and tie the game. So that's how I felt in those two instances. I don't feel that way as I sit here today. This is a really tall order for the Saints. You're going to play in one of the most difficult environments in the NFL. You're facing a pass rush that is ferocious. They're top 5 in the NFL in pass rush win rate. And oh, by the way, they rarely bring extra bodies with pressure. They are winning consistently with 4 guys up front. And that is problems for a Saints offensive line that is leaky in the middle because of Ruiz, that hasn't gotten pinning reps, that has young pups on the outside, and a quarterback who's never won a start. Like, pressure without bringing extra bodies is the worst thing Spencer Rattler can see. And then you add in the road environment of it, and it's just a really tough order for New Orleans on that side of the ball. Defensively, the Saints have not covered very well. And Sam Darnold's very capable. We saw it last year in kind of a resurgence for him. And Jackson Smith-Njigba has had 100-yard games in each of the first 2. If he gets 100 on Sunday, he'll be the first player in the history of the Seahawks to have 3 straight games of 100-plus receiving to begin a season. It's just, it does not look good on paper to me at all. I'm waiting for an injury report to come out for the Saints on this Friday. Unfortunately, those generally happen right after my show goes off the air. I don't know what this weekend holds for Chase Young, who I think is a difference maker. I don't know what this weekend holds for Trevor Penning, who hasn't played very much. But as I look at what's likely, and I look at the venue, the style of these teams, the point spread, and what I've seen here, I just don't like the matchup at all for New Orleans. But it's another opportunity. And for Spencer Rattler, who's now 0-8 as a starter in his career, it's a chance for him to go out there and continue to take strides. He took strides last week. I gave this analogy last year. It was actually an LSU analogy, but I'm curious if it kind of plays here. There's a game that you play in recreational golf where if you make a birdie, you get double the money on your bet as long as you make a par on the next hole. It's called validating. And so for Rattler, I thought that last week was absolutely a step forward. He was decisive. He was accurate. The ball went down the field a little bit more. There were some touchdown throws, which we haven't seen a lot of. He made 3 of those. He spread the ball around different receivers. I thought it was good. Was it elite? No. Was it groundbreaking? No. Was it good? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, well, if you can do that at home against a 49ers defense, can you go on the road and validate it? Can you show me more progression? And that's a question that will have to be answered. If he goes out there and the pass rush gets to him and there are bad decisions and the Saints stall and are punting a lot and just aren't doing anything offensively, and you look up late in the third quarter and the Saints have 3 points on the board, well, that's a really disappointing result. But if you see some of the things, the elements that you saw in last week's offense, the accuracy, decisiveness, quick nature of the passing game, plus getting the ball down the field, okay, well, that's certainly worth monitoring. You need Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed to play well. You need to try to find some work on the ground. You did a good job of that in the first game, especially with the next-gen stats of yards before contact. And if you can do that, you can calm down a little bit of that pass rush that Seattle brings all the time. But again, to kind of tie a bow on this whole thing, like I don't like the matchup from like every perspective that I look at it. The one like anecdote that I would look at that is a little bit encouraging was that last October, the Seahawks lost to the Giants, who were awful. It was a big letdown spot in Lumen Field, more than a touchdown. But if I'm trying to connect dots from last October to this one, that's a real reach. Like I'm well aware of that. So I think if I were to create a roadmap for the Saints to win, if we're going to play that game, it first of all starts with Rattler taking care of the ball. You cannot turn the ball over up there in Seattle. It's a loud crowd, it's a raucous crowd, and it's a defense that can sense momentum and sink their teeth into you. They've got a head coach that knows that. And so you can't do that. The run game helps you, and you've got to you got to put up a fight on offense. I'm not even going to give you a roadmap that suggests the Saints score 34 points in this game. The roadmap to success probably includes the Saints scoring 24 points. And then what you do defensively is you crank up that pass rush. Carl Granderson's been good. It was a good, productive day in week 1 for Cam Jordan. We know Brian Brzee can get after it, and you can get after Sam Darnold. He's not going to run away from you, extend plays, and make you hurt outside the pocket off script. Darnold wants to sit back there and work. So the Saints do have some pass rushers, and they've been productive in this Brandon Staley defense.
Chase Young out again.
Out. Okay, so there's your injury report. Chase Young not going to play. Okay, I needed that. Tough to look as I'm talking, but I appreciate that. That's big helps. So I wish I had him, but I don't. So it is Jordan. It is Granderson. Get after Darnold and force some negative plays. If they're forced turnovers or strip sacks, awesome. If they're a sack on 2nd and 9 that gets you to 3rd and 14, that works too. And get them off the field and force a low-scoring game. You forced a fairly low-scoring game the first 2 games. Do that. Don't let Smith and Jigba torch you. And get it to the 4th quarter where one big play can change it. I'll give you my pick at the end of the show. I think you sense from the beginning of this segment where that's kind of headed. But I'm looking for progress from young players. That's the key here. And if you can see some more good from Jonas Sanker, great. If you can see some more good from Kendre Miller, great. If your tackles hold up against a great pass rush, awesome. Like, there are some elements to this that work out, but I just feel like the likelihood is not very good for this New Orleans team. So I'm leaning Seattle pretty heavily. We'll give you that pick there at the end of the show. But it is an opportunity because this is not like the Cardinals who are middle of the pack. This is not like the 49ers who are not as intimidating. This is a good NFL team and a really good front and defense, and it'll be a tough matchup. But you can see real growth against a tough matchup if you hold your own. So we'll see what New Orleans can do up there in Seattle. Kick time here in the Central Time Zone in Louisiana, 3:05 on CBS, Saints and Seahawks from Lumen up there in the Pacific Northwest. All right, that's a look at the New Orleans Saints. Just a reminder, you can always find our Saints content at Hunt on Saints. That's on YouTube, where it's been for a long time. You can subscribe to that channel. We appreciate it. It's also in podcast form, so you can catch just my 10, 12-minute Saints segments at Hunt on Saints. Ross Jackson doing an awesome job for LouisianaSports.net covering the Saints. He's at Saints practice right now up there at Husky Stadium on Washington's campus. Made the trip up to the Pacific Northwest, so Ross has covered him. You can find his stuff for free at LouisianaSports.net. All right. Step aside. When we come back, some take it or leave it. Still got to make my pick for LSU Southeastern, break that game down a little bit, and talk a little bit more Saints-Seahawks. 30 minutes to go. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Closet space, sometimes not top of mind, especially for a lot of the fellas out there. It wasn't for me. Bought a home, loved the neighborhood. Girlfriend at the time. Now my wife moved in. It's like, this is a disaster. Hated the closets. We had clothes in the hallway, had clothes in the kids' rooms, had clothes stuffed up in the attic, like didn't have enough space. And we could have called David Ball in One Bath and Closets, but we knew pretty quickly that we were going to be moving with a new kiddo on the way. So we didn't. But you don't have to move to get more closet space. Custom closets for your exact specifications. David Ball and his team can do it. They start you off with a questionnaire. How many pairs of shoes you got? What do you need to prioritize? Nope. Maybe build you a whole new closet. Maybe they'll just use your space more efficiently. But I can promise you this, that custom closet will be functional and it will be beautiful. Look at the work, their great work at OneBathAndClosets.com. You can see pictures of it. They're happy to do all of it. Get that free consultation online today at OneBathAndClosets.com. OneBathAndClosets.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Did I say on the air yesterday, or was I just to Matt between shows that I thought the red should have been in Otterlocks?
I
definitely said it between shows. It was on the show?
No, it wasn't on the show yet because we were. It was.
Did you see how many hits the Cubs got yesterday?
Yeah, they got one.
They got one.
Yeah, Hunter Green threw a shutout,
Yeah.
as we suspected.
Turns out, if you're hungover, it's hard to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
It is not easy. I think it's pretty hard to do it even when you're not hungover.
That's correct. But when you are hungover, which I think probably most of the team was, they got one hit. Now they almost won because it was a 1-0 game. The Reds only scored once. But that was a pretty easy one to call. The Cubs need to snap back into it this evening in Cincinnati and get a dub. But yeah, pretty easy one to call yesterday for Cubs and Reds in Otterlocks. All right, we got 25 minutes left to go. Still got to pick LSU and Southeastern as well as Saints and Seahawks. I don't think either one of those are going to be too groundbreaking of selections, but we'll get to those at the end of the show. Right now, it's time for a little Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer. It is currently 2:30 on a Friday. I can think of no better time to start thinking about that first cold beer of the weekend. And if you're looking for a light beverage, maybe one you haven't tried before, Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. Comes in these slim cans, just 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, smooth, refreshing, and packs all that flavor you're looking for a cold beer. Tailgating tomorrow, Flight by Yingling. Golf course this afternoon, Flight by Yingling. Fishing this weekend, Flight by Yingling. Watching NFL Sunday, Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
All right, first one here. Clayton Kershaw announced he will be retiring once the Dodgers season ends, wrapping up an 18-year career. Included, of course, an MVP, 3 Cy Youngs, 5 ERA titles, 11 All-Star appearances, among other things. Some idiot will not vote for him on the Hall of Fame ballot to prevent him from being a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I think he'll be unanimous.
Really?
Because Rivera knocked the door down, so now it can happen. And I don't think there's anybody's going to have beef about it. The holdup previously was that no one had ever been it, so you can't make him the first one.
Okay, but we've had so many guys since.
Like Maddox should have been it, obviously.
Ichiro should have been unanimous.
Yeah, but I think Kershaw will.
We'll
I don't
see.
know what no, actually, I take it back. Some wacko will go, well, it wasn't that good in the playoffs. So, no Hall of Fame. Not that good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I prefer Bumgardner.
Yes.
That'll be stupid. That'll be a stupid thing to
Somebody will do it, huh? I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
They weren't that good in the playoffs. Skip homers.
All right.
They get outdueled by Kyle Hendricks for the pennant, though. We like that.
Professor. All right, next one. Matt Rule and Nebraska make a statement with a win over Michigan. I saw this stat, though, before we get to it real quick. Nebraska is like 0-17 in their last top 25. They haven't beaten a ranked opponent since 2016.
Jeez.
However, they'll make a statement and get a win over Michigan Saturday. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Significant edge in coaching to Nebraska in this one, and I think Raiola is really good. Bryce Underwood's played well, but Nebraska, I believe that fan base still fancies itself as an elite football program.
I think they always will.
It's very, very much not. But they can get better than they are, and they can be as good as Iowa's been, which they haven't been, and they can be a lot better. And Matt Rule's a really good coach, and they're going to have a jam-packed house. There'll be emotions through the roof, and I think they will beat Michigan. And I think that is a step up for them. They're not in the stratosphere with Ohio State, and I wouldn't pick them to beat Penn State either. But this would be a step up if they can beat Michigan in a big game like this. So I'll take them to win it.
All right, next one. You forgot Tulane Ole Miss in your SEC fix,
That is correct. We just realized that.
The Wave covers in Oxford. Take it or leave it.
I believe the number is 7.5, and I will take it.
11.5.
Oh,
At least I saw it on ESPN.
that's what I go off of, that ESPN deal.
I just went to ESPN.
11.5.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, I'll take the 11.5. I think Ole Miss's defense is a little stinky, and I think that Tulane will score some points. Ole Miss will score a lot of points, but I just need Tulane to score some points, and they will cover that number, I think, in Oxford. Ole Miss maybe looking ahead to the Tigers a little bit.
Maybe.
That's coming up next weekend in Oxford. Should be a wild environment for that one. So yeah, I'll take the Wave plus the 11.5. Add that to the card, the perfect card that's
8-1.
that's coming in.
8-1. You're going, not 7-1. Forget 7-1. 8-1.
9-0.
9-0. Okay, let's just make it 9-0. All right, next one. Flavored margaritas. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'm in. I like a flavored margarita. go back and forth between frozen and on the rocks. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling and really how full I am.
Right.
I think I probably prefer the consistency of frozen, quite frankly. But if I've just housed a bunch of chips and salsa or something, I might need to go on the rocks. It's just a little bit lighter.
Well, the problem,
I like the flavor. Give me peach, give me watermelon, give me mango, give me the whole thing.
I like the flavors every now and then. The problem with frozen is if you don't drink it fast enough, it's going to melt.
It is.
At that point, it's basically just on the rocks, but with no ice.
No
so
ice, yes. But it's
that
still
is a
cold.
problem.
But you just got to
go.
get it housed quickly.
You just got to
work
down
on
it. You got to go to work on it. You got to get yourself a straw and just do some work.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. All right, next one, Harlem Berry over total yards on Saturday night. I'm not sure what it would be, but probably like 50 or 60, I guess.
55 is the number I had in mind, and I would
take
go
it or
over
leave it.
I just forgot to type the numbers 5 and
All right,
5 in
take
that.
it.
I'll take that. Yes, I think they're going to get him the ball a little bit. I think he will have 11 touches, and I think one of those will go for like 30 yards. So I talked about this at the top of the show. Most people that are listening right now probably didn't listen at that point. But I do think Harlem Berry will be involved in the game plan. They'll get him some touches, whether that's early or late in the game, either way. And I just want him to get his feet wet, and I think that he'll make a couple big plays. And yeah, I think he'll go over 55.
Let's get some 15-yard runs. We've got either 2 or 50 so far.
There's
in
a lot
these
of
games.
that.
There's been no first down runs. Let's get a few of those for Harlem Berry.
Okay.
All right, next one, LSU touchdown pass over 45 yards on Saturday night. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'm going to go with that as a total distance on the play,
Yeah, I'm going to
not
say
in
not
the
air
air.
yards.
I don't think he's going to throw 45 yards in the air. If he does, that'll be great.
That'd be awesome.
And here's the deal. I just thought about this. I've been thinking about this game all week, and I haven't. This just came in my brain. If he's capable of throwing the ball 45 yards, I don't know if he is or not. If he's capable, in the first quarter, they're just going to do it so that Ole Miss sees it on film. Because I think if you've now let the cat out of the bag that he has an injury, you've got to prove he's not hurt still. Or else Ole Miss is going to use that and go, all right, we're coming up. So I think if he's capable, even if he throws it out of bounds and it's not completed, just do it so that Ole Miss is aware that, hey, he actually can throw it deep, and we have to now respect Barryon Brown and Chris Hilton on the outside because he can hurt us over the top. If you come out and say your quarterback, who's not played well and has not thrown the ball more than 32 yards all year, and you say he has an oblique injury, and then you come out and he can't throw it 35 yards, and you think and dunk it around on Southeastern, like that's going to impact the way Ole Miss prepares for the game. So I think now that they've said something, clearly he's got to be better than he was.
Well,
that all just started clicking in my brain.
I agree with you, but could LSU be a little bit cheeky and not do it to make Ole Miss think he can't throw it deep, and then they game plan for that, and then actually he can? You never know. I always wonder.
Gamesmanship.
Yeah, I always wonder about how teams go about, especially when it's the first game. I mean, this isn't the first game, so at this point, LSU's got a lot on film on the offensive side. But I do wonder sometimes if teams will be coy with their play calling in games like this.
Yes, they are.
They should.
Okay.
Like when Kelly was so quick to shut down Nussmeier's knee injury, I was like, I would have rolled with it.
Yeah,
If I was Kelly,
yeah.
I'd have been like, yeah, it's significant. And then he goes out there fine against Clemson. I
That's
don't know why
true.
he didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, you if your opponent is going to take your word, then yeah, why not? Why not try to confuse them? But last one, real quick, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorites. Take it or leave it.
I will leave that.
Leave it alone.
To me, I would suggest I like the Eagles' chances to get to the Super Bowl better than the Bills.
Of course.
And I think I like the Ravens better than the Bills, period. I know the Bills beat them in week 1. It was in Buffalo. But I think the Ravens are awesome. So I love the Bills. I think there's a really good chance they can win the Super Bowl this year. I would not suggest they're the favorites.
Yeah, I think the AFC is just always going to be harder.
They got to break with Burrow.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. All right, that's it.
All right, let's take it or leave it. Brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Reminder of our schedule for tomorrow for LSU and Southeastern. For those that are listening, want to tune in tomorrow to get you ready for and reacting to the Tigers and the Lions in Tiger Stadium. 6:45 is your kickoff time, a couple minutes after that. But for our purposes, 6:45 is the kickoff time. That means 1:45. You can catch Charles Hannegriff and Matt Musso from Rouse's on Burbank. They'll be with you for 3 hours. You can stop by, get your tailgate supplies on the way out, but listen to them for 3 hours there on Eagle 98.1 Game Day. They will hand it off to the LSU Sports Radio Network at 4:45. That's me, Brandon Taylor, Marlon Favorite. If you've been on campus over the years and seen us set up there between the ramps of the Assembly Center, not going to happen moving forward this year. We will be in our studio inside the stadium, but we will come to you at 4:45. I'll have Jay Johnson on the show talking a little bit of baseball. Excited about that. But we'll go from 4:45 to a little bit after 6:15. And then we'll hand it off to the broadcast team of Gordy Rush, Jacob Hester, and the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. They'll have the call for you 30 minutes after it goes final. Me, Brandon, and Marlon on the LSU Sports Radio Network for postgame. 90 minutes after the game goes final, Charles Handegriff and Richard Dixon will have Eagle 98.1 postgame from right here in studio, taking your phone calls and reacting to LSU and Southeastern. So we start at 1:45. We'll go till about 2 o'clock in the morning. About 12 hours of coverage over on Eagle 98.1. It's simulcast, a lot of it here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So appreciate y'all for hanging out with us on Saturdays on game days. We got one more order of business. That's picking Saints and Seahawks as well as LSU and Southeastern. I'll break down a little bit more of what I want to see from LSU and Southeastern in the next segment as well. We'll close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is that website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. So start your shopping process there. We live in a delivery society. You want food? You get it delivered. You need toilet paper and laundry detergent? You get it delivered. You need a car? You can get it delivered. They will do that for you at Genesis of Baton Rouge. They will come to you for the test drive. You reach out to one of their brand ambassadors, they'll come to you. If you don't have time, you want to do it during your lunch break, you want to do it while you're at home, they will come to you. Get that test drive. If you decide, yeah, this is the ticket for me. Awesome decision. You'll love it. And they'll bring the car to you for delivery. E-contracts, delivery. It's right there at your front door. They make it so easy for you. Convenience is very, very important to the folks over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. The customer service there is going to be second to none. You will feel like a guest and not a customer. Experience it for yourself. Go by and see them at Airline at Pico, or as I said, get it all done right at the comfort of your own home. It's an option for you at Genesis of Baton Rouge. The entire inventory is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Live and local, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, every football Friday, 7 a.m. until about 9 p.m. Off the bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer Show, AFR, Louisiana Prep Preview, Catholic High Football. 7 a.m. start all the way through Catholic's finale there about 9 o'clock. Should be a great one for Catholic and U-High tonight here in the capital city, as one would say. I don't have a dog in that fight, but it should be a great game. There's a lot of really good players on those two teams, so we shall see. I'm probably going to take Myers to a high school football game this fall. I have not considered that, but my aunt brought it up. She texted me. She's like, you should take him to the Catholic U-High. Can't do that tonight. We've got some things on the books, but he would like that because he's really into football these days, and he loves going to the LSU game. I think getting real close to a high school game might be fun for him. So we'll look at that as time moves on. I always like checking out high school events. They're always fun. Yeah, they're really good, especially right now in the non-district games. There are a lot of good out of district games where especially teams like Catholic go out and play some really good teams. And so this is when you it's not like college football where you get these really bad matchups between FCS teams, and really they actually go out and play guys. Going from Rummel to Catholic, that's real stuff. One of the good things about the way that they do the power ratings in LHSAA is they really value you playing good teams. So they go out and play good teams, so it's always really good fun. That's why the Flyers, my senior year, got a lot of credit for going 2-8, baby. Hey, the Flyers, I think they're looking pretty good so far this year. I think they're 2-0. The Flyers went 2-8, made the playoffs as a 32 seed, played John Curtis in the first round with one Joe McKnight on the squad. Yeah. The Flyers did not win that game. And I believe, this is secondhand information from my friends who were on the team, our head coach went into the locker room on Monday before that game and said, guys, if we win this game on Friday, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of sports. Not football, high school football, Louisiana. It'll be the biggest upset in the history of sports if we win this game. They did not win. Joe had, I believe, 3 carries for 3 touchdowns, and he did not play the rest of the game. Kind of blame the coach on that. That's putting way too much pressure on him. Yeah, that's not a good idea from the coach. The Flyers were a poor team, guys. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. My buddy played both ways on the line. At that point, probably 5'10", 210. He was playing both ways on the line. Yeah. The Flyers were not a great squad back in the 04, 05, 06 days. That's all right. On the hardwood, we won a playoff game. Don't worry about it. Won a playoff game. Who'd y'all beat in that playoff game? Welch.
Welch,
the Greyhounds.
Oh, man. Yeah, the real
Greyhounds
powerhouse.
Came up to Shreveport, and we just took them out.
Welch,
dominant performance.
Known for their really strong basketball teams.
Not in our house, baby. It's an excellent performance. We came out in that 2-3 zone, smothering,
yeah.
knocking down shots. It's a packed house in there.
Oh,
and we went to Lakeview and got crushed because that's how that generally.
And don't forget, we got Ken Trahan's show as well
yes,
on Talk
we do.
107.3.
Talk 107.3, 5 to 9 tonight.
That's right.
4 hours of high school football coverage there on Talk 107.3. All right, last order of business was picking the games, so let's get into that. I'll start with LSU and Southeastern. We'll finish with Saints-Seahawks here. As I've said 50 times this week, like the score's insignificant. Really, the X's and O's are insignificant. This is not a fair fight. It's not a game that should be on the schedule. If you don't take my word for it, listen to Coach Selfo on Matt's show yesterday who said he doesn't like these games. But they get $750,000 for it, and it helps their budget, so they take it, and then they get beat by $1 million. They played 2 FBS teams the last 2 years. They've lost a total of 100-7. And Southeastern's a decent FCS program, but it's just not it's not the same sport. So I'm not going to watch LSU run up a bunch of yards on the ground and go, look, they're blocking it up. That's great running. You're not going to see that from me. I would like to see Garrett Nussmeier throw a ball 35 yards in the air, 40 yards in the air. I would like to see LSU get Chris Helton involved a little bit. I would like to see Harlan Berry involved. I would like to see Carius Kern play some. And I realize this is like, people feel like, oh, you're jinxing things. Don't say stuff like that. And I get it. Like, get the defensive starters out in the second half. I really don't need a targeting foul. Targeting is a fluke most of the time, like it was last week. So let's not miss the first half against Ole Miss because we're trying to tackle Southeastern. So the way I can get all these things accomplished is just go out there, play good defense, shut them out in the first half, score 4 touchdowns, 28-0, and get the backups in. Like it's a race to that to me. And so I'm not looking much forward to analyzing the game on Saturday. There are just some things I would like to see for confidence purposes. And I do think confidence is important to some of these guys. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting in the stadium. I'm looking forward to seeing the band. I'm looking forward to see LSU, although I'm not looking forward to seeing the uniforms. But it's a stress-free Saturday, so enjoy your tailgate. Watch some football with no stress and probably watch some other game on the other screen. That's quite frankly on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. SEC play cranks up in earnest next week in Oxford. So let's talk Saints and Seahawks. I mentioned this 30 minutes ago, so probably some of y'all that are still tuned in that heard this breakdown. But this matchup stinks for New Orleans on paper. You're talking about a team that really rushes the passer well with 4 against an offensive line that has some issues. Let's just be frank about it. Got a quarterback that has a history of making some rough decisions if he's pressured, especially if it doesn't require numbers. That could be a bit of an issue. I don't like the fact that it's on the road in front of a hostile crowd as well. The Saints' only chance here is to really generate some pass rush against a stationary Sam Darnold and create negative plays. If they can't do that, I think Jackson Smith-Njigba has a big game, and I think that the Seahawks win this game by a couple of scores. So for me, I've got the final here at 30-13. Seahawks kind of taking it to the Saints on Sunday. Matchup's just not any good. If the Saints can get some pressure and maybe get a turnover or 2, they can stay within shouting distance, but I just don't anticipate that happen. I would take the Seahawks and I would lay the points in this game on Sunday. As far as LSU's final, I haven't even given that some thought. I'm going to put it on LouisianaSports.net tomorrow morning, but probably something in the neighborhood of 48-3. I don't anticipate the game being all that competitive at all. But it does lead into a really exciting week with LSU and Ole Miss. And I will say this as I get out of here. While tomorrow's not a game that I'm going to take a lot from for LSU, I'm not going to take for granted the fact that we're going to go to the last week in September this year and LSU is going to be undefeated. And that is something that they haven't done in 6 years. So it's a good thing. I can still celebrate the Clemson and Florida wins with a Southeastern game day because you don't feel like you're teetering on the edge as a team. You feel like you've got a lot of wiggle room and just some time to get better. And you've had a week to practice to get better. You'll have a game to go out there and get some things worked out. And then you got another week of practice to get better. And then you got to go to Oxford and play a really good football game to win that. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a celebration of LSU moving to 4-0, which you haven't seen in a while, which is probably more important to me than, hey, how's that left guard looking on that pull? Can they handle this counter play? That's really not what tomorrow's for. It's been a fun show, fast-moving 2 hours. If you missed any of it, Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show. Like, subscribe, rate, and review. That helps us get our content in front of as many folks as possible. And then you can look for our individual content. Hunt on LSU for your LSU stuff. Hunt on Saints for your Saints stuff. Full breakdown of the game with Southeastern. Preston Guy came aboard to talk with us. I broke down Saints and Seahawks as well. SEC picks, setting the stage for the NFL. All the hits on this Friday show, and we're brought to you, as always, by Corks. Get on by. Grab a po' boy. Get some fried shrimp, fried catfish before you go out and watch some high school football or LSU tomorrow, or the Saints on Sunday. That's all we can do this week. We're going to hand things off to Matt Moscona, who is live at Don Juan. He'll be there for AFR 3 to 6. Back Monday, recapping a whole weekend on
The Hunt Palmer Show.